Commissioners?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting on Wednesday, October 28, 2015. At this time, I invite you all to join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Chairman, we come to a solemn part of the agenda in which we have three Daytonians who have contributed much, not only to Dayton but to their world, and who have gone to their reward and must be memorialized. I ask everyone present to join the board in a moment of silence in memory of the late Father Robert J. Arujo of the Society of Jesus, Teresa Broder, the mother of Bristol County Agricultural High School teacher Daniel Broder, among others, and Bill Giles, the last surviving hydroplane racing champion who plied his craft on the Taunton River in Dayton. We should have more to say about these after we have taken a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
It might be well, in view of the press of business, to take a few moments to dedicate the adjournment to the memories of these departed. We can take our time with the poignant reminiscences that they deserve without the pressure of waiting business if we dedicate the adjournment. Just a suggestion.
Fine.
That's fine. That's good. With that said, approval of the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the regular meeting minutes of October 7th, 2015 be approved.
I second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the minutes of the Board of Selectmen's meeting with department heads, October 7th, 2015 be approved.
I second the motion.
That motion also has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous decision. The ayes have it. Let's move on to the approval of the warrants.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the following warrants be approved. Warrant 18A16 in the amount of $74,054.24, dated October 28, 2015. Warrant 18B-16 in the amount of $18,926.56, dated October 28, 2015. And warrant 18C-16 in the amount of $124,353.79, dated October 28, 2015, be approved.
I second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? None being, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, ayes have it. Motion is accepted. Correspondence. We have a letter from Dr. Azar, who is the superintendent of schools here, Dayton Rehoboth, regarding appointments to the Advisory Finance Committee. This is addressed to the Board of Selectmen, Town of Dayton. Dear Mr. Crone, as per the amended regional agreement dated July 1, 1987, Section X, Period D, Advisory Finance Committee, there shall be an Advisory Finance Committee composed of 3 members from each member town. At least 2 of the members from each town shall be members of the local Finance Committee. The members of the Advisory Finance Committee from each member town shall be appointed by the Board of Selectmen of that town for a term of 1 year. The Advisory Finance Committee shall review and make recommendations on the tentative and final capital and operating budgets. The Regional School Committee would ask that the names of the individuals be forwarded to the committee for notification to the Advisory Finance Committee meetings. And it's signed sincerely, Dr. Anthony Azar, Superintendent of Schools. I do believe we're short one person.
Yes. Kevin Perry serves.
Right. And the other member, who was a member of this Finance Advisory Committee, is sitting to my left, who is no longer on the committee.
Jay.
Have you been in touch with anyone on the Finance Committee?
Yes, I certainly have. Chairman Swartz indicated that he would be willing to serve if none of the members of his committee wish to serve. That said, the Finance Committee will act next week to fill the vacancy left by Mrs. Goulart's ascending to the Board of Selectmen. He would like the new member to be among those considered or offered the opportunity to serve at the Regional School Board, at the Regional School Budget Review. Therefore, he has postponed making a recommendation to this board concerning a new appointee until Mrs. Goulart's successor on the Finance Committee itself has been named. And we have an indication, there's only one applicant for that seat as it stands right now. So we have an indication that that individual will be appointed to the Finance Committee and to this office as well.
So we should be ready to appoint the personnel next week.
Yes.
Thank you. Announcements.
Shall I start?
Yes, please.
The Board of Health has Sharps disposal containers for sale for Dayton residents only at the office. $3 for quart size, $6 for gallon size, $7.50 for a 2-gallon size. Once full, they can be brought back to the Board of Health for proper disposal at no additional cost. Recycling stickers are available for $1 each for recycling containers of your choice. There is a prescription drug box now located at the Dayton Police Station. Please limit your disposal items to pill form prescriptions only. The following should not be disposed of in the drop box: creams, ointments, liquid, thermometers, syringes, IV bags, bio-waste, aerosols, inhalers, and EpiPens. You may also contact the Dayton Police Station at 508-669-6711 for more information. Preparation for paving has been completed on Forest Street and Cedar Street between Smith and William Street. Paving will take place the week of November 2nd, 2015, weather permitting. Congressman Kennedy will be holding an office hour at the Dayton Public Library on October 31st, 2015, from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. First annual Sweet Swap will be held Monday, November 2nd, 2015, from 5 to 7 p.m. at Sullivan Family Dental, 1209 Somerset Avenue, Suite number 3, Dayton, Mass. Exchange your unopened Halloween candy for games, prizes, and snacks. All candy will be sent to U.S. troops in holiday care packages. held in conjunction with Saving Our Troops, Stoneham, Mass., and Cub Scout Pack 28, Taunton, Mass.
A flu clinic will be held on November 9th, 2015, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the lower level of Dayton Town Hall. Must be over 18. Insurance cards are required. Call Jen Sylvia at 508-678-0080 with any insurance questions or for more information. This clinic is being held in conjunction with Rite Aid Pharmacy. On November 11th, 2015, at 11 a.m. at Town Hall, there will be an unveiling of a 48-star U.S. flag given by the family of the late Byron E. Haskins, World War II Bronze Star recipient. All are invited. For more information, contact Veterans Agent Donald Hershey at 508-669-5027. On Thursday, November 19th, at 10 a.m., there will be a discussion at Lincoln Village, 300 Lincoln Avenue, North Dayton, Mass., on the annual open enrollment for Medicare Part D, which takes place between October 15th and December 7th, 2015. Open enrollment is for those who want to make changes in their Part D coverage or for those who are newly eligible. Call 508-823-0095 to register. This is hosted by the Council on Aging and SHINE, which is the acronym for Serving Health Information Needs of Everyone. And the Finance Committee is now accepting applications for a new member. Please submit applications by October 31st, 2015. I do want to add, Mr. Chairman, once again, the Arts Festival, sponsored by the Lions Club, will be at Arujo Farms on William Street. The best parking is at Mannheim Auto Auction. There will be buses continuously throughout the Arts Festival taking people to and from the Mannheim Auto Auction. And they drive right up to what we call the front door of the Arts Fest. So please avail yourself of the parking at the auto auction and save the trouble and hazards of walking on the roadside to attend the event. And good luck to the Lions Club. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend and the event should be a success.
Thank you, Patrick. We'll move right on to old business. We just have one item, and we're only going to review and discuss this to give you people a status of Power Management and Amoresco Incorporated, their proposal for a solar installation at the Tremont Street Sanitary Transfer Station. As of today, Mr. Saban Rossi, who represents Power Management, has secured an appointment with this board next Wednesday, who will attend this meeting at 7:30 and describe the entire proposed project at the Tremont Street Transfer Station with all the particulars. We'll open it for questions and answers. Anyone that feels the need or the want to attend, and he's assured us he will have answers for just about any question you have. So that's where we stand with that. They've made recommendations. They've given us a book to stick that we're supposed to go through for proposals of that land and some land that's adjacent to the Little League and softball complex up on Maple Swamp Road, on land that the town owns also. So we're interested in speaking with him and asking him questions also. So come next Wednesday night, and this will be our first real venture as a town into a potential proposal and project with solar. Moving on to new business. I'd like to review, discuss, and act to organize and charge a committee to study the structure and function of the Board of Health. I'm going to ask Mr. Menges to give this charge. As you all know, we have accepted applications and requested some people to contemplate being a member on a committee to study the structure of the Board of Health for the town of Dayton. This is going to encompass various options that this town might have. We feel that the people who have come forward and offered their talent, their experience, and the opportunity to give us options and proposals of which way to go to have a bona fide, experienced, well-oiled machine Board of Health. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Selectman Menges to give a charge and give us a little background on where we stand right here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first thing I'd like to say is the motion, the initiative for creating this study committee comes from Selectman Goulart, and we owe her a debt of gratitude for putting this forward. It would never have happened if she hadn't suggested it the way she did, and as a result of it, we should have at last a firm conclusion about whether or not the Board of Selectmen will continue to be the Board of Health, or we're going to have a separate Board of Health, number one, and whether or not we should pursue a Director of Public Health. We're in the process of obtaining an intern to show us what such a position might look like, or how it might work, but it will be up to this board to advise us concerning what the ultimate structure of this, of the health department in Dayton will be. That said, the first thing I need to do, I think, is to, if you don't mind, the Board of Selectmen declares that the study committee, having been appointed and sworn, is without a chairman and clerk, and therefore the floor is open for nominations for the position of first chairman of the Board of Health Study Committee. Do the members have a nomination for chairman? Mr. Cavallo.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Ron Connor. Chair.
I accept the nomination.
Motion has been made and seconded, nominating Mr. Ron O'Connor, and he has accepted the nomination. Are there any other nominations? If not, then I'll entertain a motion that the nominations be closed. Is there a motion that the nominations be closed? From among the committee, I'm sorry.
I'll make that motion.
Motion's been made.
Second.
This motion's made and seconded. On the motion to close the nominations, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, the nominations are closed. We have one nominee for chairman of the Board of Health Study Committee, Ron O'Connor. He has accepted the nomination. At this time, gentlemen, all those in favor of Ron O'Connor for chairman indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and Ron O'Connor is elected chairman. And now we will open nominations for clerk of the study committee.
Motion to appoint Matt Tanis.
Motion's been made, seconded.
Awfully quick.
So I have
Mr. Tanis accepts the nomination. Are there any other nominations? If not, then I'll entertain a motion that the nominations be closed.
So moved.
Motion's made, motion's seconded. Motion has been made and seconded that the nominations be closed. On the motion to close the nominations, gentlemen, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the nominations are closed. And now, we have one nominee for clerk of the board, and he has accepted, and that is Matt Tanis, and I will take the vote. Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Mr. Tanis is elected. And let the record show that both organizational votes were Unanimous. I would, at this time, read to you the charge that the Board of Selectmen has actually approved. We approved this at our last meeting for the members of the committee, and you'll each be given a copy of it. This is a charge to the committee to study the structure and functions of the Board of Health. Number 1, the committee will study A, whether the Board of Health should be separated from the Board of Selectmen, and if so, whether it should be elected or appointed. B, the recruitment, duty assignment, oversight, and support of health department personnel. C, the role of Director of Public Health, and if such, full or part-time, and local or shared with another town. And D, associated matters. And number 2, the committee should report by December 30th, 2015 to the Board of Selectmen and stand by thereafter for the annual town meeting in 2016, especially concerning the possible separation of the Boards of Selectmen and Health, including the process. And that said, I'll furnish each member of the committee a copy of this charge. My administrative assistant seems to have been taken away. Thank you very much.
Patrick, are you going to mention we're looking for one more member?
Beg your pardon?
We're looking for one more member.
Yes, we are. We are looking for a 5th member. The board is supposed to be a 5-member board, and therefore, any of you who can suggest the name of a 5th member, please contact the Board of Selectmen with it, and we will see to it that a 5th member is appointed as speedily as we have a willing participant, a qualified willing participant. We're trying to keep the board experienced and professional. I should say a word about the appointees. We have 2 former chairmen of the Dayton Board of Health, Mr. Pius and Mr. Tanis. Former Selectman Tanis is Assistant Director of Public Health for the town of Marshfield. We have with us also the agent to the Boards of Health of Somerset and Swansea, Mr. Joe Cavallo, who has already been a very tremendous resource in dealing with some of the challenges that our health department presently faces. And the new chairman of the study committee is an expert in this structural area for the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. We are blessed that you're a resident of Dayton, and we are fortunate that you have the time and are willing to serve, and that's Ron O'Connor, and we thank you very much. I should say we certainly want to hear from the board, and if you care to speak up now, that's fine, but what we're going to do as soon as we're concluded with this part of the proceedings is invite you to go into the selectman's office, take a comfortable chair, and decide upon your schedule of meetings and all of the organizational things that you want to prepare so that you can start your work. So with that,
We missed Tom.
welcome. Is there anything that we...
You missed Tom.
I missed? No, I said 2 chairman of the, didn't I say, I'm sorry, Mr. Thomas Pius, who was 9 years on the Board of Health, and how many years as chairman?
6.
6 years as chairman. And the structure of the present health department is, the health department has matured into what it is under Mr. Pius' leadership, certainly. Well, if no one cares to...
Mr. O'Connor. Mr. O'Connor.
Mr. O'Connor?
Just a quick comment. I certainly commend the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Health for taking this action to form this study committee. I look forward to working with the other members of the committee. We've assembled a great team here that should be able to accomplish the task by the end of December, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, please, help yourself to the selectman's office.
Mr. Pires?
I'm not sure everybody's been sworn in.
Has,
Yeah.
has,
I mean, we could talk about schedules and so forth.
has everyone taken the oath? Has anyone not taken the oath? Mr. Cavallo's been sworn. You've been sworn. You've been sworn, Mr.
Okay,
Pike?
we're all set.
Good to ask you,
Very much.
we're all on the same page.
Much appreciated.
Well,
You might have to go.
keep up the good work, we will.
That door might be locked.
Get it done.
Next on the agenda, review, discuss, and act to appoint Delphin Samito to the Development and Industrial Commission.
Mr. Chairman, I move that Delphin Diosomito be appointed to the Development and Industrial Commission for a term ending June 30th, 2015.
Second.
That motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? I just might ask, what's the length of their term?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, they're staggered terms. So his happens to be the one-year term. It should actually, I think,
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
June 30th, 2015 has passed.
Oh, did it say that thing?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're gonna have to, well, for purposes of accomplishing the mission, I'm going to take the liberty, it's allowed by law, of making a pen and ink change and initialing it as clerk of the board.
Do we have a full committee now?
Yes, we have.
Good.
That's, the original appointment date is correct. That's fine.
And his reappointment will be for 5.
Yes, it will. And we have with us tonight also the town clerk who administered to you the oath so that you can participate in the reorganization of this committee. Would you like to come forward, Sue?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Susanna Maderas, our town clerk. And we'll give you the commission so that you may,
Please stand if you want. Just, you have a chance to start my votes. I send this, after I'll sign this one, I'll just forward, okay? If you raise your right hand, you solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon you as an appointed officer of the town of Dayton, in accordance with the laws of the Commonwealth of Mass and the bylaws of the town of Dayton, so help you God. Congratulations. Read that one and sign it, and you just have a sign so you can do it. You really got one of them, so you didn't go. Okay. We're all set, is it just the alternate?
thank you. Yes.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much.
And that's actually yours. Okay. Pleasure, good night.
Good night, thank you, sir.
Do you have the statute?
Oh, yes, it's on.
And we'll continue right on to the next item on the agenda, which is a continuation of the newest appointment to the Development and Industrial Commission. And that would be to review, discuss, and act to reorganize the Development and Industrial Commission.
The procedure, gentlemen, is what we just saw in the case of the Board of Health Study Committee. So at this time, on behalf of the Board of Selectmen, I will announce that the board declares that the Development and Industrial Commission is without a chairman and without a clerk. Brian Brown having resigned his seat and been replaced. And therefore, the floor is open for nominations of a member of the Development and Industrial Commission to serve as chairman. We have with us Vicky Piazza. Would you like to come forward and take a seat? And Joseph Figueredo, if you'd like to come up for this while we elect the officers of the commission. Thank you very much. Is there a nomination for chairman of the commission?
Are we all four?
No.
Who's on?
Yourself, Vicky Piazza, and Delphin Diosamido. I'm sorry, would you like a few minutes to get acquainted?
I wish you had two people
Oh,
on
what
this.
about, oh, okay, that's right, we had him.
Pamela Waller is in the assessor's office. I'm
Greg Olson.
yes, we are. He should be here tonight.
Greg Olson.
Perhaps he's up. Five on you.
What's the rest of the number?
If there's a possibility that we can have a fourth commissioner on hand for this exercise, we'll suspend the proceedings until we get one. I'm afraid Mrs. Waller is with the Board of Assessors. One member of the commission represents town government, and she is that member, has been, although you represent the planning board now too, so that's.
But I'm not interested in the chairman.
We didn't ask that, Joe.
It's okay, I'll volunteer. Yes, I'm you better believe it.
Wait a couple minutes.
Well, we could actually
Next
Go
one.
on to the next one.
move on to the next item, yes.
Okay, we're gonna skip over this reorganization, go down to D, review, discuss, and act on a proposed Eagle Scout project for Daniel Vargas at the Broad Cove Nature Trail.
We have Daniel Vargas with us, and we also have with us the chairman of the Conservation Commission, and we have with us a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission. We'll try to capsulize where we stand. Broad Cove Nature Trail was accomplished largely as an Eagle Scout project by Jonathan Gray. He organized the necessary work and saw to it that a nature trail from Hart Street to Broad Cove was accomplished. It was originally just a little walking path. He saw to it that the trail was widened and stumped, and it's plowable and accessible by a vehicle now, and so forth. The ownership of one of the sections of that nature trail was contested in court by James Mello and his sister, Ms. Clancy of Somerset. It ran through property that they own and farm. The Superior Court ruled that of the 3 lots that form the present nature trail, the middle lot, Lot 83, does not belong to the town of Dayton. It belongs to Mr. Mello and Ms. Clancy. We have been in conversation with Mr. Mello concerning what will become of the nature trail and what will become of the access to Broad Cove. Needless to say, the nature trail now is a shadow of its former self because the public cannot go through. We can't, the town, let's put it this way, the town cannot invite the public to go through the private property. If individuals walk up to Mr. Mello when he's working in his field, he certainly can allow them to walk through to the point and see the water and so forth, but as far as a public nature trail that we can put online and have as an attraction and something for the public, the town can't invite people to trespass on Mr. Mello's private property. There have been some issues with it. The sides of the trail were not properly demarked so that people using it could tell where the left and right boundaries were, the east and west boundaries were. As you walk down the trail, it looked like there were some open areas where you could park a camping rig or lay out a sleeping bag, and there has been some damage to fencing, and there has even been a house break in a house along the trail. That said, the neighbors have been patient while we worked through what would become of the nature trail. Recently, the Conservation Commission obtained the title to 37 acres of land for for conservation, accessible from not Hart Street, but Route 138. This would provide the possibility that the public can go to the point completely across town land without disturbing neighbors on both sides, and it would provide another venue for access to Broad Cove and a perfect setting for a nature trail. It so happens that 2 days ago I was approached at the Selectman's office by Scout Vargas's mother, who said she'd like to know if there were an Eagle Scout project available. Now, Nathaniel Vargas had begun work on a project at the elementary school, but that project was in part completed by other hands. And he needs a viable project that it is reasonable to expect could be completed by the end of August. If Mr. Vargas were to put himself to work diligently over the winter, getting the people together to do the deed, getting the help, doing the budget and everything that it takes for a project. I know what you have to do, the planning, the budget, put the touch on donors and so forth. If you accomplish that over the winter, you would have between April and August to see to it that we had a nature trail that went from 138 to Broad Cove across the 37 acres that the Conservation Commission has acquired. It would relieve the town of the ongoing challenges of the present nature trail. That said, there are some things that we need to do as preliminaries. My suggestion is, if we're going to look at this seriously, the Parks and Recreation Commission, someone from the Conservation Commission, at least myself or the entire Board of Selectmen or as many members as wish to go, we should walk down to the present nature trail and meet James Mello and allow him to explain what it is that is the problem with the present trail, so that you see clearly what it is that we have to do to make a trail that will be compatible with the community. We also have on that property, actually on the lot on the water, we have a couple of stone benches, and we have a gate, and we have a sign on Hart Street. Those things we probably would want to move to the new venue. So, I mean, those are things that you need to see. And I think it would be good if we arranged, now I have, as recently as last Friday, I had a meeting with Mr. Mello, and he said he would be agreeable to such a walk. He'd love to just have the officials of Dayton see what it is that's on his heart when he has heartburn about the present nature trail, so that you understand he's a reasonable man, but there are things that, and if we can come to a consensus concerning having the Parks and Recreation Commission operate a nature trail on Conservation Commission land, you may have yourself an Eagle Scout project setting in a new nature trail. And it would be I will say, at least from my point of view, it would be a blessing. It would give the public unchallenged access to Broad Cove and its scenery and wildlife. We have with us Mr. Fournette of the Conservation Commission and Mr. Rhines of the Parks and Recreation Commission, and I think we should hear from them. Mr. Chairman.
Bill?
Does the newly acquired property give access south of Mr. Mellow's property? In order to have a viable nature trail through the new piece of property, we have to come out onto the railroad track below Mr. Mellow's property.
Yes. And I think it does.
And I don't know if it does.
Well, we'll have to check.
Is there anybody in the...
No.
It says it's office closed, but I'll have to check, but I believe that the lot south of Lot 83, the town still has. And therefore, we come out south of Mr. Mellow's property.
Okay. All right, there is I have not walked it. I've come in on the other side, on the south side of the property, but there is a trail or a cart path, maybe 100 yards south of the apple orchard that goes in, but I don't know how far it goes in. I don't know if it dead ends, and I also realized that you'll need a place to park
Yes, we will.
off of 138, and the present cart path that's there now doesn't have any parking facilities at all. I don't see that as a big problem, and it is open, so, construction of anything in there, including a gravel parking lot, would be acceptable.
Is it, this Mellow guy doesn't want us to go through it at all? Or?
He's willing to allow individuals who he knows. If a person comes up to him and asks for permission, and they're vetted, that is, he judges that they're not going to vandalize or commit theft or what have you, he will allow individuals to walk through to the point.
Is there a way to go around it?
That's what I believe.
Have to look into.
We're going to have to check the map again. I believe there is. I believe that this property that the Conservation Commission has acquired gives us access south of his property and would make it possible for us to reach the point. We'll have to ask, matter of fact, Roy Delano just completed some work for us there, and he might be able to simply give us a quick answer over the phone. He knows the...
I don't know, could we do a swap deal with him? Give a piece of the property from the town versus get a piece of his property if it's more convenient?
No,
You won't?
He, on the east side, he has residential property, and he actually has, although the town has given him a challenge, he actually has what is probably a buildable lot on the east side of the right-of-way. On the west side of the right-of-way, he has a large pumpkin field, which he cultivates. And he has unfortunately been surprised to find a camping rig packed in his pumpkin fields by people who thought that it was public property, that it was part of the nature trail. But it's not, it's his cultivated field. And you can understand why that upsets him. but he has invited us, he has said he would be willing to walk through it with all of us, the same way as he walked through it with me when I first went down there weeks ago, and show us exactly what he's talking about. And I think it would be well if we all took that walk.
I have a question. The property, is that south of the apple orchard?
Yes.
And in between Roger's property? So the normally that would be from Roger's property to the apple orchards. So how many feet would it be from 138 to intersect with the existing nature trail from 138?
It's about 200 yards short of a half a mile.
Yeah.
On the south side.
That's not that long, that's really.
And pretty much the same on the north side, because the town owns the property where the old landfill was.
Okay, yes, correct.
This is the Roderick property, and this is a house lot that belongs to some people named Menzies. You should remember that. And then, this used to be an open field where they cultivated the plants. So this is just brush now, but this is all tree line. And the nature trail is going to have to stay away from the salt marsh. So that's why I was concerned about where Mr. Mellon's property is. It's got to stay in the upland area, up in here. This is the old landfill. You're too young to remember where that was.
So approximately, Mr. Frenette, how many feet is that from Mello's property that we'd be able to?
I don't know. I don't know where Mellon's property is.
Okay.
But this is town of Dayton. But this is all salt marsh, this light colored area.
Yes.
I wish I had another one for you guys to look at.
Would you be available on short notice to go for a walk down there?
Absolutely.
How about you? You're in school, I know.
Yeah, weekend would be better.
Weekend, that's fine, because I think he farms on
Because he
weekends.
comes from Narragansett, he's going to school over there, private school. So he has to drive back, that's why. It's
Coordinate with Mr. Mello.
Absolutely. Mr. Miller said he would make himself available. So we're looking at a weekend. Is that?
That's, oh, sure, absolutely.
You wouldn't do that during a football game, would you?
Saturday, probably.
No, I just have, one thing that I'd like to say is that there have been a lot of people in the past that have hunted that piece of property. So now if it's in the possession of the town of Dayton, I think it would probably be prudent if the Conservation Commission somehow, someone could put some no hunting signs up down there for whatever property the town is
I don't
owning.
think we can do that.
Why would you want to have no hunting?
What's that?
If you still
Why
want,
would you want to have no hunting?
well, if you're gonna have people walking the trail, could run into a problem. I don't know if, I like to see it, well, let me rephrase it. Let me say that I like to see it stay open for the hunters, but have people be more aware of their surroundings while they're there. I'll say that. I meant to preface it that way.
That's fine. I think we understand.
Any property purchased by the Conservation Commission is open to everyone.
It's open at all times, regardless.
Don't have
Okay, I
to
didn't
pay
know that.
residents.
Okay.
It's conservation land, people should have access to it. Now, whether you restrict hunting, then you gotta restrict fishing, and then you gotta restrict a few other things. Whatever. I don't know of any conservation land anywhere in the state that restricts hunting.
Okay, no, I'll take that statement off the table. I'm just more concerned of this. I know that people have hunted in the past. I've been, my relatives have hunted there in the past. Just to be, people to be more aware that, of their surroundings anyway, so.
Bill, is it permissible to build a boardwalk? Is it permissible to build a boardwalk in a salt marsh?
Yes, it is. I'd love to see one.
I've seen them in Canada, I've walked them in Canada, in New Brunswick.
There are restrictions, they have to be, so high above the marsh so you can get sunlight underneath them, and the
Right,
boards have to
yeah.
be spaced so you
Yeah.
can get sunlight through them.
Yeah,
Because the salt marsh itself is unique. even in the state of Massachusetts, and there's some beautiful outcroppings on that
But
thing.
you have to drill,
Huh?
you have to drill pilings into
Yeah.
that's,
And then I don't think they drill.
yeah.
You can put a point on a cedar log this big and drive it into salt marsh. You don't have to drill, you can just drive it.
Oh, you just drive it as.
Yeah, I've installed a number of osprey nests over on the other side on some property that we owned 20 years ago, and I just throw a locust mold right down through.
The town of Somerset had a plan to put,
A nature trail.
they were talking about a pontoon walkway in the water.
Oh, to connect the two trails.
All I can say, yes, all I can say is, we were, I don't mean to be irreverent, but we were chuckling about it when I was talking with Mr. Mello. I said, one hurricane and it would be scrap metal. I said, it just wouldn't survive very well. Anybody who's seen a tidal wave would know it would be vulnerable.
Now, this proposed nature trail, again, we've had other Eagle Scout projects that have gone on in town. We had one that happened probably 8-10 years ago in Saragansett Park. That just went by the wayside. It was never maintained. Who is gonna end up maintaining this and having the responsibility to maintain it? Could we, on highway department, in order to maintain this?
Usually nature trails are just, you walk over it and that's it.
Well, the nature trail that's on Broad Cove right now is plowed in the winter.
Yes,
So
it
there is a plow truck that goes down.
Yes, it
and plows
does.
it. So there is an expense to the town.
You have a lot of debris, trees fall down, people leave trash, all these things have to be cared for by the town.
Well, let's put it this way, if for any reason the street department found that it couldn't accomplish these tasks, if we were to maintain the nature trail, the Parks and Recreation Commission would have to put money in the budget to take care of it. I mean, that's all.
Which in turn goes to be paid to the highway department. Because we don't outsource any of our mowing or any of that sort anymore. There was a reduction in the budget approximately 7-8 years ago, but we didn't put any of the other work out the bid to cut any of the playgrounds. So those monies were redirected and put into the highway department's budget in order for them to do the work for us.
There is an informal alternative to have a Friends of the Nature Trail organization that supports some of the work, you know, chainsawing deadfall or picking up trash and picking up litter. I mean, it's possible to have a Friends of the Nature Trail organization or something like that, but needless to say, that takes some commitment on the part of the members.
I'd just like to make sure that if this process does take place, that no miners operate any type of machinery, whether it be a chainsaw or a weed whacker, either one. You have to be 18 or over in order to operate that, just in case for liability, somebody gets hurt.
The agricultural high school has a crew that assists the highway department in maintaining lots of that stuff down along the salt line. They do very well. They're super.
Yeah, under the also supervision, yes.
Do you have an alternative project if for some reason this one can't go forward at this time?
He doesn't.
No, we had good intent to do that one. They never got back to us, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, they get back, we find out that they finished the project, and you're like, you gotta be kidding
I'm
me.
going to suggest, and I will try to catch up with the man from DOT, Lexi Bellog. We're building a park down at the riverside, which is the Bridge Park. You know the little pier is down off of Center Street, right down here?
Yes.
All right, just before you cross the bridge, it's a tiny little lane, it's paved right now, but it goes down along the river.
Yep.
That lane and the land east of it belongs to the town of Dayton. Near the pier, the state is building the Bridge Park for the town of Dayton. It's gonna hold a granite island, the granite came from under the bridge, and mounted in that will be the head plate from the Berkeley-Dayton Bridge. And they're gonna build one on the other side of the river in the little park that's over there. But my understanding is they're building it in the grassy area that's cleared. And if you stand at the pier and look to your right, there is that whole section of stuff, bushes and whatever they are, that if that were cleared out there, that park could be expanded and that land cleared, and however it could be designed, whether you have a railing or something else. But when that park was proposed, when the location was proposed, I talked to Charlie Mello to make sure there were no wetland plants in that piece of land, and Charlie said, no, you can use that land. So, again, I don't believe the state is gonna clear all that land, but it's something to think about, because you could expand the park that they are building. But that will be, if you will, the town's monument. There will also be a plaque placed on the island in front of the head plate. It's supposed to talk about the historic significance of that crossing. And the historic significance of the crossing is why there is a country-style bridge there and not a concrete steel thing. So it's something to think about, and I will try to find out exactly, what it is. If you have a chance over the weekend, go down there and take a look at that, all right, just to see because if the Broad Cove Nature Trail works out for you, then you're all set. But that would be something another eagle can think about, because it would be nice to clear that land, it's town land, and you could have a nice area there, okay? But I'll try to get the information from the man in charge from DOT, all right? But if you stop by and become familiar with it, just in case, as a backup plan, okay?
Do you have your swimming badge?
Yes.
To make sure that we know which direction it will take, for Nathaniel's purposes, I'll arrange to have that walk at Broad Cove as soon as possible. I'll get a hold of Mr. Mello. If we can do it this weekend, we'll knock that out at once, and we'll know whether or not we can go forward with this at all.
I'm gonna check on that section of land, what's south of it.
Yes, so find that out tomorrow. We'll work between Mr. Delano and the assessors will know tomorrow.
Can I get an idea?
Everywhere I went, somebody said, give me a copy, give me a copy. I got one left.
Oh, you don't have a copy machine? They don't have a copy machine here?
They do, but I don't think it'll print color.
Yes, we do.
I have one of the others.
We can print
Yeah, if we
color.
can print this, it'd be nice, so.
Yeah, the selectman would be able to look at it.
Karen, look at the copy of that,
It's
please.
scheduled for Saturday morning, I can make it Saturday morning.
I'll try to schedule it Saturday morning.
Okay.
I'll get a hold of Mr. Mello first thing in the morning.
Guarantee we'll get hold of it.
I don't know yet, but I think in view of the hour, we should proceed with the reorganization of it.
I appreciate it.
Can I just say one more thing, sir?
Sure, go ahead.
Robert Woods, 58 Chase Street. I was involved with the first nature trail that went through, and, it's unfortunate that we got to where we are today with it. But the reason we got to that point is we jumped the gun on it. We knew there was a problem, but we still went ahead and gave the Boy Scout permission to build this path, and now we have a dilemma with Mr. Mello. Maybe it can be worked out, maybe it can't. I really hope it can, because the nature trails are beautiful. But as far as going on this new piece of property, I would have to be against that myself personally as a resident. That's beautiful land. I've walked all over it. I'm very familiar with the area. I think Mr. Finette mentioned parking would be very difficult along 138 there, and dangerous, because there's a slight incline coming up the hill headed north. And like Mr. Ryan says, there's a lot of duck hunting that goes on back there in the marsh, and there's a lot of deer hunting that goes on. And before you give the Boy Scout permission to do something like that, let's make sure all the ducks are in a row. And I know the young man's pressed for time to get his project done, because, he's getting older. I don't think they let you stay in the Boy Scouts forever. But I know Mrs. Goulart had a very good idea with the park down below by the river. And also the Ducha Memorial over in South Dayton is in desperate need of repair. And there was another Boy Scout a few years ago who did over the Jennings Memorial in North Dayton, did a fantastic job, it was really beautiful. So this Duccia Memorial would be a nice project also, and it would really make that area look so much better. But to touch all that land, the town just acquired the land. I think a lot of research needs to go into it. We don't want to kind of bust a deadline, you know what I mean? There are other projects in town. I think that's just a beautiful land, and I hate to see it cut up. That's my opinion, that's all I have.
I just want to correct one thing. It was Lot 82 that was contested when that trail was built. And our position was, Board of Selectmen was, Lot 82 belongs to the town of Dayton. That's why we gave him permission. It's Lot 83 that the question arose after the fact. But it was 82, because I remember we had town council look into it, and they had a title search. And isn't 82 the one that the court ruled recently?
82 is the town.
Yeah, that was the one that was contested. So, as I say, it got built. When we gave permission to build it, we were told it was ours. 83 came up after the fact, and then 82, the court said, yeah, that belongs to the town. So the 82, Lot 82, yes, we gave him permission, and yes, that did belong. 83 was not in contention when we gave permission to the young man, Jonathan Gray, to build that. So that's what happened. There were two lots involved. But anyhow, if, do we have a phone number in that so that we can get back to him? I will try to find, contact Lexi Bella tomorrow at the project or at the office. And the other thing too is, I believe, if you're standing there where they're building the park, my understanding is, so you got the area to the right, but also, I believe to the left of the pier is also some Dayton land. Because when it was just a grassy lane, you could drive down and there was the semblance of a fence there. And that fence was where Aggie land began. So there may be space on either side of the pier and the island, the granite island, to, if you will, finish it off and make a larger park. But I'll check into that, okay?
Thank you.
I'd just like to say that whatever project you're approved to do, please do as others have done on their projects and mention as many people as you can who have completed your project. We had one project that was completed at Tricentennial Park, and has absolutely no mention of the highway department or the troop who was involved to do it. All it had in relation was one gentleman's main name, and that was it. So please, just do that. I know that Alex Umbelissi did the Osprey Landing and mentioned quite a few people involved with that, and also part of the nature trail that Jonathan Gray had done also. He mentions who was involved with that, so I think that would be best.
Well, I want to thank everybody for their input. There's a few options to look at, you know, and there's been 2 or 3 brought up, so I agree with Mr. Woods, you know, let's get our ducks in a row before we, you know, attempt anything, you know.
You mentioned one other thing. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. You mentioned Jonathan Gray. Jonathan Gray is available on the weekend also. And for the sake of understanding, if we are going to discontinue the trail that he created, I contacted his family and made it known I'd like to have him come down and hear Mr. Mello so that he understands what it is that we're up against. And, you know, it's not a lighthearted abandonment of what he created. We're hoping that we have an alternative to it, but if we don't, we don't. We'll just have to see how it develops. I want to thank you for your indulgence coming here tonight, and one way or the other, you will have an Eagle Scout project with the support of this board.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You want to attempt this,
The
organization?
the reorganization of the Development Industrial Commission. Yes, at this time, the floor is open for the nomination of a chairman from among the three of you to chair the Development and Industrial Commission.
If I may, since there's 2 members missing, am I correct? Wouldn't it be a better idea that we all talk amongst the 5 of us to see which one would be more qualified to be the chairman, and someone rather than us trying to appoint somebody that the other 2 don't know anything about?
That's your privilege. I will say, if we do that, all 5 were notified tonight, and we had an indication that 4 would be present. It is my suggestion that after you've had a chance to confer, we not put this off again. If we have a quorum, we should proceed with the selection of a chairman. But why don't you then take a few minutes in the selectman's office to get acquainted? And
See if you
You have to use the seats. Let's try.
no, you can stand if you feel more comfortable. We do sometimes.
Let's move right on to letter E, review, discuss, and act on the road opening permit for the Columbia Gas Massachusetts to service off at 1889 Elm Street.
Didn't we do this?
There's a hole in the book and God right there.
Did we shut the service off somewhere else? On Elm Street?
I thought it was shut off.
Yes, I think so.
Chain that you can
I thought we voted it because,
drive in, I suggest driving in the back end.
because I think I questioned it. I couldn't, I made some, oh, yes, because I said, I hope this isn't on the part of Elm Street that Tommy just paved. And somebody says, no, this is a shut-off. This is not opening the road thing. And then you explained to me, I think it was my first meeting, September 30th. You explained to me that Tommy gets notified ahead of time.
Dated today.
Greg Olson told me that the gas company has been down there.
I think it would be the September 30th minutes. Just check. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
26.
Curve cut there, right? Yeah.
But did we approve it already? You just have to sign it?
We would have had this already. I vote we don't put it on the agenda.
There was paperwork, because I remember that both of you explained to me how this works. Isn't that the house that I volunteered to go? Okay.
I must have passed my copy of the agenda along with the minutes. They must have gone back to the administrative assistant. I'll ask her to check.
Stay tuned, folks, we'll be right with you.
Oh, it's just like the state legislature. We all, we
No, we're more efficient.
more efficient than that.
Wanna try something else?
Yes.
Let's jump down to Article G. Review, discuss, and act to accept the resignation of Historical Commission alternate member Ruth Horton. She's gotta have that there. I have a letter to the Board of Selectmen, Dayton Historical Commission. Last night accepted with regret the resignation of member Ruth E. Horton. Ms. Horton has a very full academic schedule, which includes travel, and is unable to participate in our meetings. She expressed her sincere regret and wished the commission success in its endeavors. Since hers had recently been changed to an alternate membership, with an alternate stepping into her full member position at that time, we still have a full complement of seven members on a historical commission. We wish Ms. Horton well and hope that one day her schedule will enable her to rejoin us. Respectfully yours, Myrna Santos, Chairman, Dayton Historical Commission. So I will entertain a motion with regret to accept the resignation of Ruth E. Horton from the Dayton Historical Commission.
Make that motion.
I second the motion.
That motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Motion carries unanimous.
Oh, I already initialed it.
That was just a copy, I think, right?
Yes. We've accepted it. You will.
Next, let's try to designate electricity aggregation bid opening representative and alternate.
I'm gonna check to see if that's on my desk. There's some things I'm supposed to read.
Can I make your life more complicated? Did I happen to give you my agenda?
I'll bring some wine,
Well, no, I don't even want to take yours. You have notes on it. But did I turn mine in accidentally with some minutes that we signed?
No, you can have that one. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay, all right.
It's there? Oh.
No, this is what Nancy was looking for, I'm sorry.
Oh.
see what there is. Maybe this,
We're gonna get out of here, Tom. Friggin' meetings are going.
We're doing very
You
well.
right?
I knew it was around the beginning.
Shut the door.
Oh, they're coming in.
Oh, are they? Where is this? This is the next step in the aggregation warrant that was passed at the town to have an electricity aggregation bid. The bids will be open within the next 2 weeks, I believe. And on bid day, they are requesting a representative from each municipality to be present at the bid opening for the supply of electricity, to either accept or refuse the bids. Each municipality must designate a primary and alternative representative for attendance at the bid opening and take all steps necessary to ensure that such representative is duly authorized to execute this bid award. The exact date and location of the bid opening is going to be at the Holiday Inn, and the date will be advised to this board and made well known a few days in advance when they have set it. So my colleagues, they are requesting that we designate a primary and an alternative representative to attend this bid opening. I believe it's on the 10th at the Holiday Inn in Taunton,
The 10th of,
November,
11:45 a.m.
11:45.
okay, I can't do it. I'm not gonna be around.
What day is that on?
Tuesday,
A Tuesday?
because the holiday's Wednesday, the flag
That's
presentation.
right.
May the board send a
I'll go.
Very well.
Must designate a primary and alternative rep. I'll go for the opening, and then
May we appoint a non-member to represent us? A non-member of the Board of Selectmen?
well, it doesn't specify a representative from each municipality. I don't mind going. It'd be a little easier for me to come back and give feedback and status anyway. Shouldn't be that long.
That bid opening shouldn't be that long, no. And I don't think that we'll find any reason to contest the proceedings.
No. So if it's your pleasures,
I move that Mr. Cronin be appointed as the town's primary representative to the bid opening at Holiday Inn on November 10th at 11:45.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? If none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tuesday, November 10th. Did we find out about this cut?
We did act on it.
Okay.
October the 7th.
All right, that's all done.
Was for termination.
Yeah.
And we had a report here for the status of an appointment of a Dayton Weekend Animal Control Officer.
Do you have the...
This is,
Mr. Chairman, the Board of Health tonight accepted the resignation of Delphin Diosamito as Weekend Animal Control Officer. On behalf of the Board of Health, knowing that we are in immediate need with the onset of hunting season, and of course that puts wild animals to flight with the presence of hunters in the woods and so forth, we are in immediate need of an animal control officer for the weekends. We do have several directions in which this could go, but we reached out to the Animal Sciences Department at the Agricultural School. I spoke to the principal, Aaron Polanski, and asked if it were possible that a recent graduate student might be interested, someone who lives in Dayton or the immediate area. And he said that, as a matter of fact, there is such a student, such a recent graduate, who is in training for such a position. And we therefore forwarded to him a memorandum with the animal control officer's usual duties. And it is as follows: a weekend holiday animal control officer for the town of Dayton will perform the duties of the regular weekday animal control officer on the weekends and holidays and during regular animal control officer absences. These duties include respond to all domestic and wild animal complaints, pick up injured animals and obtain medical treatment as necessary, maintain a shelter and care for animals in custody. Of course, that for the weekend officer, that means simply by maintain a shelter, see that the animals in it are fed and, their business is cleaned out and they're watered, and walk them. Attempt to locate owners and return animals, investigate mistreatment or cruelty allegations, quarantine animals as necessary, pick up and dispose of dead animals, work cooperatively with the boards of Selectmen and Health, work cooperatively with the police department, respond to calls for assistance from owners of lost animals, log and document each action taken and write required citations and reports and file with the Board of Health, prepare an annual report. This is as a sort of appendix to the weekday animal officer's annual report. Carry out other duties related to animal control as may be assigned. The Board of Health voted on resignation of our current, past weekday holiday animal control officer tonight, Wednesday, October 28, 2015. And I indicated in this letter, this memorandum to Mr. Polanski, we would be pleased to act swiftly to appoint the new weekend holiday animal control officer, and we are very encouraged by the agricultural school's prospect to fill this position. We look forward to hearing from an applicant as soon as possible. Again, the appointee will have 1 year from appointment to successfully complete the state-required animal control officer's training. In reading this letter tonight, I wish to add that if there is anyone out there in hearing who cares to apply for the duty of weekend animal control officer, applications are available at the Selectman's office, and perhaps we should also just put this on the website. But we do expect to receive an application from at least one recent graduate of the agricultural school soon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Job well done.
Are they still in the office? Are they going to let us know?
I have an update on that road opening permit. As I was looking, the last one we did was for Dayton Water, and I believe that one's for Columbia Gas.
It is.
So we did the water district.
Oh, okay.
And from Jim's email, it says the water department will not proceed with utility cutoff without the gas disconnect. So,
And Mr. Chairman, I move that Columbia Gas be given a road cut permit for 1889 Elm Street. Work to be completed within 1 month and before November 30th, and the highway superintendent to be notified within 72 hours of the work.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion?
Where is this on Elm Street? Before the Main Street intersection?
Immediately north of the Higgins house, that the old Bayless Parsonage in the tavern. It's on the east side of Elm Street. It's a little lane that goes off of Elm Street. It's actually...
Does it go easterly?
Yes. 1889 is actually behind another house.
Oh, okay.
It's behind another house. The lane is rather... It has deep tire ruts with a hump in the middle, so a low vehicle has a problem.
Okay, all right, now I know where it is. Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, the Development and Industrial Commission has returned.
Welcome back.
I think we should invite the senior member present, Mr. Figueredo, to tell us what is the commission's pleasure concerning reorganization and charge tonight.
I think it would be a good idea for us to, we've discussed this and we've all agreed to that we want to see all 5 members present and discuss amongst the 5 of us as to how we feel about it, who should be the chairperson at that point.
Would you care, Mr. Figueredo, to reach out to Pam Waller and we...
Absolutely, would love to do that, and I will do that tomorrow. I will speak to Craig Olson, he's one of the members.
Yeah, he's at the Water District.
And he was here earlier, but I imagine he had to leave or something.
Too bad.
he said he got tied up.
I'm sorry?
I called him earlier, he said he got tied up with something, he apologized.
Well, I'll try to reach out to them, and I actually gave you my number, but I didn't get yours, and I didn't get yours, so I think we should all try to get the numbers, and we'll get in touch with one another over the next few days, and see if we can come up with something, and maybe the 5 of us can meet during the week.
Sounds good.
Agreeable?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Do you think you'll be ready for next week, our agenda?
Yes.
Okay, good. We'll put you on.
The other question, is there any other members that are going to be appointed?
There may be an alternate, however, the way we've structured this for the time being, the town meeting voted for a 5-member Development and Industrial Commission. It can have up to 15 members, I believe. Let me just take a look at the statute. Not less than 5, no more than 15 members. If it is to be increased, it should be increased in increments of 5 because the 1/5 of the members have to expire each year, so it should be either 5, 10, or 15. And
You mean their terms expire?
yes, I'm sorry. Thank you. It's worse than calling somebody out of order.
No one will sign up for this committee, Patrick.
Lateness of the hour. Very good. Well, now I've lost my medal.
Okay, so if we don't, if 5, then it has to jump to 10. The chances of us getting 10 members are slim to none, so we'll have to go with it.
Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next Wednesday night to attend here, yes. But I actually, you're the only official.
Thank you for your willingness to serve.
You got a card?
No. What do I, look at contractor or something?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
That's not my own, you were contract.
Do we have acknowledgements? Any acknowledgements?
Acknowledge.
No,
I
no.
gave you my number, yes, provided that. So, it's in writing.
Any public input? We managed to drive everyone out tonight. And we're at the point of adjournment. Mr. Menges has prepared a little tribute for our adjournment.
Well, we have an opportunity, Mr. Chairman, now to dedicate the adjournment of tonight's meeting to the memory of 3 citizens of the town. One, a lifelong Daytonian, but who actually spent a good deal of his life in service to his church in other venues, and 2 residents of the town who came from other places but brought their virtues and their energy and goodwill with them. First, we want to speak, of course, of Father Robert Arujo, who is so fittingly biographed in Selectman Nancy Goulart's 300th anniversary book of the town. A very detailed account of his service in holy orders. 60 years ago, Father Arujo's grandmother, mother, and aunt were together in my late mother's beauty parlor, and they passed me around.
I hope you don't remember all of that.
I don't. But at the same time, on an overturned tomato crate under a wolf tree in a plowed field on William Street, 7.5-year-old Robert Arujo practiced delivering the homily that he had heard in St. Peter's Church the Sunday before. His calling came at a young age. He had a tremendous appetite for reading, and his father Caesar knew it. And on Saturdays, he drove Robert to Adams Bookstore in Fall River. He was allowed to choose one book, and his father paid for it. And he brought it home and read it. That was his treat for the week. going to Adam's bookstore and buying a book. Well, his practiced faith and his voracious appetite for reading imparted to him profound character and a depth of seriousness that stayed with him, of course, throughout the rest of his life. With his mother, as a youth, Robert hand-built 2 clocks. When I last visited the Arujo home, the old homestead on William Street,